Tina's right there behind.
Oh.
Let's go. Are we live?
What's going on, everybody? My name is Los. I'm here with my partner and co-host, Ken Clothier. Welcome back to the Freedom Strategies podcast. We are here with one of the most educated and controversial topics, woman in all of San Diego, Miss Ashley Randall. What's up,
Yes, hi. Thank you for having me. I'm here, everyone. Can you believe it?
So let's begin. Rather than talking about your journey and who you are and what you've accomplished.
Yeah, rather than anything educational or beneficial.
Let's just start with controversial topics that you are very privy to. Where do you want to begin?
Oh man.
What conspiracy theory do we want to get
Well,
out?
okay, so this one over here thinks I am conspiracy theory to the max. I've gotten you like kind of in with me a little bit, so I think we should talk about. Well, first I think we should debate masks, whether they're efficient or not efficient.
Okay.
I do want to talk
Because that's
about
going to
masks.
end well. We're
Yeah.
literally going to go round and round and round.
Please stay subscribed.
Right back.
These are not our opinions. I mean, I guess I'm.
But
not
I
just
do
giving my
think that
opinion.
we should obviously address the hottest of hot topics, which is human trafficking.
Okay.
So,
I watched one episode of the Jeffrey Epstein thing on Netflix, and it was too dark for my taste.
Super dark.
And so I was like, I'm out. I don't want to watch it anymore.
I watched the whole thing.
I did not want to watch the whole thing.
It's crazy that somebody
It was gross.
can go down that far down the road.
that's the point, though.
I know, but
That's
I have kids, and it just kind of like rubbed me the wrong way, and I just didn't want to watch it.
People don't understand that. It's almost like somebody's in denial. Like, this is obviously a guy that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and then he turns around.
Was, because now he's dead.
And now turns around, and how could you go so far down this rabbit hole where it was daily, right? And it was like normal for him, and then turn around and somehow the victims like normalize it at some level, right? I mean, because when you watch that thing, there was a girl that she didn't want to be a part of the thing, but she had no problem going and recruiting and bringing other girls over for like $100. And I'm like, it's
For $100?
Because he's targeting people that have. That's the thing. That's what people.
I'm not
I saw
blaming her at
in
all. In
episode
fact, she's a
1.
victim, right? But
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it's the way the whole human psyche works. It's like, it's shocking that a predator can clearly go and find somebody that's weak-minded or in some kind of distress and knows their avatar, knows who they need to go after, knows exactly the situation they're looking for, and manipulate that person to do something that 100% goes against everything they believe, but they just do it. I mean, there's a masseuse in there that is a strong, beautiful woman, and before she knows it, she's caught up in the whole thing again. I mean, it's just fucking fascinating.
In the first episode,
and crazy.
The big thing that I caught is that basically they were focusing on people that came from like broken homes,
Yes.
poverty, negative
sure.
situations, which are, just looking for some sort of either affection or escape.
Which
Right.
is exactly, by the way, who everybody preys upon.
Yeah.
Whether it is politicians, think about if a big company goes into a city to set up a plant and they know they're going to put chemicals in the water and they know they're going to do all the waste and where do they go? They go and put in the most impoverished areas where nobody can defend themselves.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, that's just the nature of the way the world works. It sucks dick, but it's the way it really is. But let's talk about...
That's
So
boring.
give-
I don't want to
give
talk
me
about
some
that.
stats.
Yeah. So what I really want to talk about is the fact that you don't want to watch it, because that's the problem. Is that people say it's too dark and it's too intense and it's too whatever, but I'm like, that's what's happening. You have to see it because those are the things that are happening. So
Me-
you're
me
like,
watching
"Ooh,
this
I
isn't
don't want to
gonna-
know that like children are getting like taken from daycares and being sold during the day and then being brought back to their children. Like that's unsettling. Yes, but like that's 100% real. So for people to say like, that's just too much, I don't want to know about it. Like,
I
so
dead
does that
ass
make it
had
not
nightmares about it. I was like, this is the worst thing ever. And I started looking at like Operation OUR, and that's like where you go to donate, and that's where everyone that is involved in,
Right.
not involved in it, but involved in supporting the cause of fighting it is donating. And
You know what? Let's make a point that underneath this podcast that we put a link on how to donate to Russell's, Operation Underground, and several other charities to try to combat this.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Because I think it's huge.
It's not a conspiracy theory that this is actually happening.
Oh, it's for sure happening.
Now, what might be a conspiracy theory is whether children are being sold on Wayfair's website.
I think that's kind of too much.
Of course.
I think I'm out on that. They just sell
100%
basically.
out on that.
It's almost saying like Restoration Hardware's out here, just
Yeah.
It's.
Let me tell you who's
they
not.
they make
let me
expensive
tell
stuff,
you-
man.
Let me tell you who's not out on that. This one.
Yeah, I'm definitely not out on that.
So Laura my wife brought this up to me, and she was like in the forums, and I was like,
Yeah.
hey man, how about you stop all that, because this is just way too much. She's like, I think they're doing it. Look at this cabinet. It's called an Ashley. I was
Thank you.
I was like, oh, it's just a name
Well, you know
of
what?
cabinet.
Ashley Furniture Store.
No, because you can get the same cabinet. You can get Ashley for $89, which is a cabinet, or if you know where to click, you can also get Ashley for $3,000, and that ain't a
so
cabinet.
that's just called branding and positioning.
That's just called circumstantial. We have an algorithm that creates pricing based
Right.
off of vendors that come in.
Yeah.
But
Or-
let's ruin a company's reputation on unfounded. I mean, literally, these are unfounded rumors. There's not one shred of actual evidence that says any of this actually happened.
I totally agree on child trafficking. I think it's a stretch to say that Wayfair is selling humans. I think they're selling furniture. I might be wrong,
You might be wrong,
but I
could be
I'm
wrong
gonna-
also.
I'm willing to admit that
I
I
could-
could be wrong.
I
but
could definitely
The
be
moment
wrong.
somebody puts a document in front of me, online or otherwise, and says,
then I'm wrong.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And I'll sit
But
right
I
here
think that it's
with her
important
right there
that
and
we-
say, you were right.
Regardless, I think it's important that we just as humans, especially right now, question everything. I think that to not question that Wayfair could be doing that, or any other company, regardless of the name, could be doing that, I think is outlandish. To not question that people are selling children inside shipping containers with high-end art is ridiculous. That's 100% happening. It's not regulated. It can go through transportation systems without being checked by customs or anything like that. And so you're telling me that a shipping container from one private seller to another could literally have human children inside and no one would know about it? That is for sure a real thing, not a conspiracy.
That's so savage.
I don't even know
It
that
is
that
so
a real
savage.
thing.
It is a real thing. It's 100% a real
She
thing.
read it on
But you are
Instagram.
but the problem is you're not in
And
that inner
therefore,
circle.
And neither are you.
Technically, neither are you, right? Like
correct.
you don't got homies and they're like, yo, we're
I got
we're-
homies that did this
We're
shit.
the trafficking
I know.
Avengers. Like we're out here like defending.
Correct.
No.
Okay.
However,
I
but
read
when
it somewhere on the
companies
internet,
and
therefore it
places
must be
like
true.
Underground Railroad, when they make statements like that, who they do research like that, they send people
So they
in.
said those people
Underground
said that.
Railroad said this.
They have said yes.
That very specific thing.
I don't know if they've said the exact words that I just used, but they
This is
have
what it's
said
called, hearsay.
yes, that
Yeah.
children
I
are
heard.
being sold via extremely high-end furniture, art, whatever name you want to tag you want to put it in. They are being sold under like said alias.
I do
And
think that
instead of it thinking that you're buying
Okay, so back
a
up.
Picasso, you're buying a child.
Back up. Okay. I 100% believe, so just to clarify my position, I believe that child trafficking, human trafficking, is a massive business. It is 100% real. It is nothing to joke about in any way, shape, or form. And I believe there are a multitude of mechanisms that exist to make that happen that are right under our nose every single day. It's when unfounded bullshit sources on social media. I mean, if you look at the Wayfair thing, that is literally a couple in Arizona that started a rumor that went fucking viral.
Okay, but I
Let me
think
back up.
no.
And so
because
I don't have any problem with the facts. I mean, I have a problem with it, but I just deal with the real issue. The challenge we live with today is that because of social media and what have you, that dumb shit actually distracts from the real issue. Like if you look at Russell, who's a friend of ours, is fighting a very real battle, donating very real money, funding a documentary that's on Netflix, trying to do something about the problem, it distracts away from the real problem.
Yeah.
Versus unfounded dumb shit, Pizzagate, blah, blah,
We should
blah.
have
What
Nick
the
on the
fuck
show.
is going on?
We should have Nick on the show, Nick Nitton, because he did the documentary.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I want to deal with the real issue.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think all the superfluous noise
So
is
how do you plan on dealing with the real issue?
donating, getting involved, just like I've dealt with every real issue in my life, right?
Okay, right, but donating, that's cool. Like, that's great, but what else?
What are you
The
doing?
same
What
way I
about-
built a fucking village in Haiti is the same way I'll get involved in this. How will you get involved?
No, the question that I
Damn.
would have to you would be, okay, so you're just like, stop the Wayfair conspiracy, but like, why not, if that can be a conspiracy or not a conspiracy, why would you not like investigate or look into other things?
I'm not saying I won't investigate and look into
It's
anything.
like you're trying to squash the possibility. It's almost like taking away from the fact that like it's happening, because you're like, well, that it might not be happening that way. They might not be sold in shipping containers.
And that's
with
the reason I'm
art,
trying to clarify.
Therefore, it's not
And
really
you know what?
happening.
I changed my tone. This actually could be real. Based off just what's happened to me yesterday, I don't know anything's not real.
What happened to you yesterday?
With the stuff with my family.
Oh.
Yeah, like based off.
The world's a crazy place.
It's
exactly.
insane.
So you should question everything. So I think
I'm not
for you
saying
to be over here saying like,
question-
don't question Wayfair, or like, oh, did they actually
did I say that?
it was in a shipping
No.
container?
I did not say that.
No, he said that it seems.
He said dumb shit from a couple in Arizona is distracting from the thing. The point that
Here's
I'm
what
trying
I'm
to
saying.
make.
Anytime Jake and Harry right now can say anything on the internet, and they can make
I want you to think about this for a moment. Okay, you work your life to build a business. Okay, you're an amazing person. You've helped hundreds of women out there, lots of other people, and some dipshit goes out there and says, well, she charges $1,500 for a $50 product, therefore she must be doing whatever. Doesn't make it true, just makes it
available to research.
available to research, and your entire reputation gets slaughtered because you are immediately caught up in a whirlwind of public opinion that has nothing to do with reality. Now,
So my question would be, why did this couple just randomly pull out of thin fucking air? Why
that's
did they
the
pull
actual
out
thing I
Wayfair?
researched.
So why did they?
Because a fucking cabinet was $10,000.
So, and they were like, today we hate Wayfair, and we're going to say you're child trafficking.
So that does happen in life to a lot of
100%.
people.
I don't
This is
disagree with that.
$10,000, and the name is Ashley. And by the way, there's a missing person on the news in CNN named Ashley. There must be something here. Are you fucking kidding me? How many crazy people look for dumb shit like
Inspector
that?
Gadget. Take
I mean,
that down.
it happens every day. Now, here's the other thing. Could it be true? It
Possibly.
requires actually somebody doing some research before it goes viral.
And maybe there is research being
I
done.
hope it is. And I will sit right here with you right there and admit right to your face that I was wrong. And
I mean, I would actually hope in this case that I would be wrong. This is a thing, like, I'm not trying to be
seems
right.
it's
crazy.
distracting.
Yeah.
But is it distracting, or is it causing awareness so other people are saying, well,
Both
shit,
thing-
okay,
both
the Wayfair
things-
thing
What I
maybe
think
falls.
is
Both things can
real.
be true.
What I think is real is that very high profile people, I don't know names or anything, and I can't prove anything, so I'm not going to go spew names, but I do think very high profile people are doing this crazy stuff.
For sure.
And I think it's just
I think that's
a
I
play
think
of
we
power.
are about. I think we are about to see shit go down with
I hope so.
what's her name? The girl from Epstein.
Elaine Maxwell.
When she gets,
Hopefully she stays alive.
I mean, if she
Yeah,
stays
hopefully
alive
she
and
stays
she
alive.
basically
Which
turns
is a whole
over
nother
what she needs to
conspiracy.
turn up, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, it could be the craziest
When is that?
shit. Oh, it's next year, July.
Oh, it's not
Next
going to
year.
happen.
She'll be dead by then.
She'll be go
Yeah.
out
Anyway,
the door.
I want to go back to what you said a second ago or earlier in our other conversation, how you said like the top high level Instagram people, like there's a certain net of people. Okay, so to your point that you said about, oh, do we know this is happening? If we use that example, there's such a high level of people that are doing this that we will never know that. We will never
facts.
know the high
For sure.
people. We will
Yeah.
never know what it's like to have
Listen,
a
money
psychotic
creates
amount
secrecy.
of money. We will never
Yeah.
know what it's like to be born into something where this is your culture.
I mean,
You are taught this. You
we
are
know
bred
we
into
know for a fact
this.
that success or whatever, like certain things, networks are built off things.
Correct.
Right? And
There's
so
a
they're
hierarchy
private
that we
networks.
will never
There's
in a
specific
million years
networks,
be
there's
able to
bigger
comprehend.
networks.
Money, you involve wealth, you involve any vice, whatever it is, right? Drugs,
And there's groups.
pornography, whatever it is, and child sex trafficking, anything. People have means to keep it quiet.
100%.
They
It
have
means that you and
attorneys.
I can never,
Look at-
ever,
look
ever
at the
comprehend.
simple fact of Trump has been able to keep his tax returns away from the American public for however long it's been, right? You just keep paying the piper and kicking the can and do what you got to do to protect the people you got to protect. So I think, again, back to this Epstein thing, I think it's going to be really interesting
If it happens.
what
if
comes
it happens.
If it's in July, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
That's a whole other year almost.
If it happens, if they're not dead, if they haven't been killed off,
I
if they
hope it
haven't
does.
transferred
I
their
hope it does, too.
citizenship to
I
another
hope
country.
every one of them burn in fucking hell. I mean, I hope it all comes out. I hope every one of them.
Well, my question is, why does it
mo-
have to wait that long? Why is it, if it's such a immediate pressing issue, why are
I
we
think
waiting
the government's
until July?
just slow.
No,
and that's
I
just
mean,
how that
because
runs.
No, because
everybody-
people are paying off people to
No.
delay and to drag
No,
their
no.
feet, to
Take
your
a step
point,
back.
just about Trump.
In
If
the-
you can do that to get your tax return not shown, then imagine how many judges and people, or people you can kill, or judges' sons that you can kill to pay off
Take a
to
step
slow the
back.
process down.
You've been there, so you need to stop for a second.
Then
Okay?
where?
Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Everybody gets
For
a
sure.
day in court.
But
and
I didn't
that's the
have my life
process.
a Netflix
That's-
documentary series where people are saying this person did this thing to me.
I got it, but my entire point is everybody gets due process. That's just the
Unless they're killed ahead of time.
correct. But you want to know why you have to wait? It's
the-
because that.
We should add the special effect that goes dun 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 when she says that.
Yeah, there's this woman that she got her account shut down, and like the FBI apparently went to her house in Louisiana, but she's been on Instagram just like literally filming herself, like throwing her kids on the floor, saying how she like rapes them, how she like will, her 4-year-old daughter, how she's like, oh yeah, like on the phone, like, how much will you pay
we
for my
rolling?
kid?
Good. Keep going.
Oh, no, I'm not saying any more of that.
You was on Instagram. Go ahead.
Mark.
Oh, so now things that are on Instagram that are
I
are
just
valid.
want to hear the story about what you
But
saw.
when it's about
rolling?
Wayfair on Instagram, it's not valid.
I didn't say it was valid, but she's freaking admitting it.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, well, to your point, just like Wayfair, it could be a scam. She could just be doing it for comedy, for humor, for likes, for attention, for anything. It could all be fake.
I'm not discounting.
She could just be like role playing, like, yeah, blah blah blah, I do this, and then
You
just
said
like
there was a
That's
video of her
really
actually
dark.
throwing the kid on the ground.
there is a picture of 2 little kids falling off of what looked like a couch, and she's like filming them. The kids are like screaming bloody murder.
Couch isn't Wayfair, is it?
It probably is Wayfair.
It's
They probably
aggressive.
gave her the kid and the couch
Yeah.
with her high-end purchase.
Give us another conspiracy theory. We haven't. I want to hear them all.
I want another one.
Well, no, because I've already told you them in real life, and then you shit talk me.
I'm not. The whole point of this
I
is
didn't.
I don't want to shit talk you.
I'm
I want to actually hear them.
What are the conspiracy theories? Well, we already talked about the 5G conspiracy theory. We already shot that down.
What's the 5G conspiracy?
Yeah, what is it
theory?
again? Remind
The
me.
5G was like the conspiracy that's why everyone has COVID, because they're launching out 5G cell towers. And that's why the kids had to stay home, because they had to put cell phone towers up that had 5G. And it was making people sick and nauseous, and so they had to send all the kids home so it wouldn't be suspicious. This was a conspiracy theory that people
You
had.
don't believe that, though, right?
No.
That's a little too
I
much.
don't believe it, but I told Kent about it, and he said, "You've lost your mind." I'm like, "I'm just telling you what I have
It's
heard."
on the freaking internet,
Correct. So I just was like, "Yeah, that was a theory."
man. So this segment is called "What's on the Internet" with Ashley.
Yeah. What I mean, I'm sure they're probably so common to me that I don't think they're conspiracy theories.
Talk to me about masks.
Oh, Matt. Oh.
Mask off or mask on?
Let's talk about COVID. Period. I
Okay.
mean, what's the conspiracy?
Is
theories?
COVID real?
We heard one.
Is COVID real? I think there is really a virus going around, yes, that people are getting and contracting. I do. I think just like SARS, just like the flu, just like anything, there is something going around that, yeah, people are getting. Do I think that it's as detrimental,
Egregious.
yeah, as the world is making it out to me? No, I think that there was a virus that has come out. They
Where did it
realized
come
that
from?
it could be highly contagious, and I think that now very wealthy political parties and people have had an alternative agenda. So I think they have taken a
I can agree with
genuine
that.
I can
sickness
get behind that.
and they have hijacked it for their political gain. So yes, I do think people are sick. I do think people are dying. I do also think that it's been hijacked
For sure.
for other benefits. I'm not surprised that it's happening in an election year. I'm not surprised that certain states that are Democratic or Republican are open or not open. None of those things surprise me. I think
No.
that's very convenient.
Is Black Lives Matter ran by the Democratic Party?
Did Bill Gates start COVID?
Don't get me started on fucking Bill Gates. Do not get me started on
This
fucking
is the
Bill
reason I
Gates.
asked.
Fuck Bill Gates. Also, fuck Bill Gates if he buys TikTok, because fuck China and fuck it. That's really
Bill
how I
Gates isn't even
feel.
involved in Microsoft
You'll
anymore.
for sure have to delete all of that. But Yeah, no, I don't fucking want a freaking microchip shot inside of me that is gonna have a contact tracer find me and all of these things. If I'm sick, let me just be sick.
I'm not disagreeing with anything.
So, I'm not.
What does that have to do with Bill Gates?
Because Bill Gates wants to say, let's make all these vaccines, let's put them in everyone, let's cure the world, let's trace your brain, let's put human trafficking in them, let's scan your iPhone so that it tracks your face with a mask on. So now if you get the new update, it's able to tell you if you are an updater with the mask update, which means you update your iPhone, so now when you scan your face, it recognizes you with the mask.
Which is Bill Gates' single biggest competitor, Apple.
But just listen. But I guess I've deviated off of that.
Go ahead.
The point is that now the way that they're tracking that is they're now saying, okay, you didn't do the update. You did do the update. You are not compliant. You are compliant. So now all your information, all your data is now being much more monitored because now we have a person who is not compliant. I'm just talking conspiracy theory. I'm not saying I agree or anything.
I'm listening.
I'm just saying the theory
Pass
is
me
now.
that cup. This is getting serious.
I'm just saying now that Los is now an updater, so now your information is like quote unquote like safer. Like, okay, we have him. He's in. Oh no, he's in the matrix. Like he's not in, he's not doing the updates, he's not subscribing to our theory, it's not working. And so they're tracking that. For those of you that are watching that don't know, I also was sick. I tested positive for COVID. I'm fine. Newsflash. But I do think that they are using a little bit of the hype to scare people. I mean, it scared you so bad you're drinking tequila. You think that if you don't get an update, you're like, oh my God, I gotta drink
I'm a
tequila.
cocktail
right
connoisseur, sweetheart.
now. Yeah, okay.
I'm only here for the entertainment, mostly to be it.
Yeah, okay.
Mostly to be
Mostly
the
to
entertainment.
Entertain.
So,
Are we seriously drinking tequila out of a huge...
Out of my coffee mug, everyone that says I have not begun to procrastinate.
Yet.
Because I've been on the internet looking at conspiracy
Correct,
theories.
because I've been drinking tequila all day.
I'm busy.
For those of you who have not seen the last episode, Kent and I broke our own record. We had, not a joke, not making this up, this is not a conspiracy. Kent and I had 20 shots of this tequila. And
Not just that one.
Well, a few. I would go full 13 and then a few
sure.
sippers.
Definitely
right?
10.
At least.
And just 2 more today.
Yeah, at least. Not only did we wake up chipper, joyous, and elated, but we worked out
With her.
with her, got a lot of good stuff done, and I am not sponsored yet by this company.
Can
but
you pronounce this company?
yeah, it's called Dos Artes.
Artes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm bilingual,
arts.
Oh, okay.
almost trilingual. Conspiracy theories are also a thing that I enjoy listening to.
Okay.
So with that said, let's move back into conspiracy theories. Let's finish this off. Black
Which one?
Lives Matter, Democratic Party. Is
You
it being
really
ran
wanna
by
go
them?
on that
I
one.
want to
Oh,
go.
yeah,
I'd rather
going.
talk about
Because
Bill
my buddy
Gates.
Yaya, shout out to Yaya. He's got, like, if you guys go to his Instagram, I'll link to his Instagram. He's got full clip, like, video. You guys should follow each other.
Okay.
I'll make a connection. This is deeper.
This is danger.
Yeah, this is getting
This means
deep.
every morning when I work out with her, the conversations are only
You're never
going
gonna believe what I saw today.
So
We're only going to get better.
basically what he was saying is that party is basically the number one funding right now for the Democratic Party, Black Lives Matter.
Correct. I don't know if I should say correct,
I was
but
about to
I
say
agree with you.
correct.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree with you. That yes, I have heard that. I'll say that. Yes, I have heard that.
I have heard that.
Okay.
I've heard that.
I
There
do
we go.
not know that.
I would be curious as to know where all the money went from the Black Lives Matter movement. I would like to know what community centers were built. I would like to know what jobs were put into place. I would like to know what hospital bills were paid. I would like to know what bail was paid. I would like to know where all this money that people have donated, fundraised, written off on their taxes, where all this money has gone and who it is helping. Do I think Black Lives Matter? 100%.
Oh, for sure.
Do I think that there is a movement as well as COVID that has now gotten hijacked by a political party? 100%.
I do think a lot of stuff that's happening in the world is being hijacked by.
I think,
Political
honestly,
parties.
I think things get hijacked every day.
Yeah.
So if you think about, like, people ask me all the time if I'm religious, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't believe in organized religion for the same reasons we're talking about right here. Right? Because it gets hijacked.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's about money. It's about power. It's about anything but religion.
It's an agenda.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at I don't know if you guys, I watched that movie the other day on Netflix called Spotlight. Have you seen this? This is about I mean, this is an old movie.
That's an old movie. But yes, I saw it a long time ago. But
It's about I don't know, 1,000 children that were raped by priests just in Boston. 225 priests that were...
That everybody knew about.
All protected by the community, by Rome, by the Vatican. It's like, what the... And of course, clearly, it's happening all over the world. So I think it's an amazing illustration when it's like,
but
corruption exists at every fucking level.
I think you need to point out
sucks.
how hard it was, because that movie is a perfect example. We all know that it's happening. Okay, we get that. But, like, that movie illustrates perfectly how hard it was for them to even put a spotlight to that.
I agree with you.
And so it's like, these
what
things
it's called,
are happening.
Spotlight?
Yeah, and it's a true story. And
We'll
it's
put that out in the
basically
show notes as
how
well.
hard it was for the local paper, right? I think it was the Boston Globe, to break the story.
And how many people did not want them
Yeah,
to.
because
like,
all of the
jobs,
rich and
lives
powerful...
would be...
It doesn't mean that the rich and powerful people were participating in the act.
Correct.
They were guilty by association because they were participating in the cover-up.
Right.
Right? So attorneys, powerful businessmen, big donors, schools, all of these people, they were just... Effectively, it's like, what was the guy at University of Pennsylvania? Joe Paterno's coach that was raping kids.
I don't know his name.
Where all the donors
Yes.
and all the alumni they were basically like, I don't want to know anything. They don't ask, don't tell kind of thing, looking the other way. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right? Is that, a lot of this stuff is absolutely true, but I think it distracts when things aren't true. It doesn't mean it doesn't be investigated. So I want to give, I definitely don't want you to think I'm discounting you at all. Things can be true. They deserve a proper investigation, right? But it's shocking, to your point, that just the investigation process in and of itself
takes so long.
I mean, look at the fucking Epstein thing.
Yeah.
You have an attorney general who was basically bought off to make the charges go away. Here's a little... I mean, this guy was raping little girls, right? 13-year-old girls. And they basically got away with like an 18-month sentence, whatever the fuck it was. It was way too short.
Have you heard that in other countries, you might be able to add to this, but in other countries, people are saying that, I might get this wrong, but I think that pedophilia is like, it's like it's just a mental state. It's
They're
all
trying to
good.
pass
It's
it
all
as a
good,
clinical.
brother.
What?
Dude, swear to you. I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but like, there's a lot of stuff going on that in other countries, and I think it might turn into an American thing at some point, obviously, that like, so let's say someone is essentially a pedophile.
Let's not say me.
Yeah, let's just say John over here is a pedophile, right? Normally, that would be, you should get shot. But normally, isn't happening. What is happening now is like, okay, well, the government says like, well, you have mental and emotional issues, and that's just kind of how you feel about people.
Right.
It's like, well, it's kind of like you were born that way, like you were born
Like
gay
you're
or
a
you were
sex
born
addict,
straight.
you're this, you're that. Oh, you're
It's not your. It's not. It basically.
Treating it like a
basically,
disease.
it's not your fault.
What the
It's
fuck?
not your fault.
Correct.
Fuck you, dude. You should get shot. But like
I mean,
they're changing
bro,
it. They're trying to
think
change
about-
it.
But then who
This
are the
is-
people that are trying to
I'm
change
not gonna-
it?
That's
the
those
exact-
people
I'm not
themselves
gonna-
should get shot.
I'm not going to call out the religion, but there is a religion where, quite frankly, up until not that long ago, going and marrying a 14 or a 15-year-old girl
well, yeah, that, I mean...
was part of the religion,
That's nuts.
right? And it was 100% acceptable. If the parents condoned, you go. And it was
Crazy. Like a man, you can marry a man,
like
or
a
like another 15-year-old.
60-year-old man, and you are one of several of his wives. This was the way it was, right? So this is not like some new phenomenon. This has been going on and has been normalized for so fucking long,
Yeah, it's
and it
crazy.
needs to stop.
I'll tell you, that's a huge problem that I would have is like if this ever happens and it's like in America, it's like, oh,
Well, she was telling me-
pedophilia is a way
Scott, you were telling me
way
the
of
other day
feeling.
that there was something you were sharing with me that you read where that literally the industry, what's a $150 billion industry, and the industry
Child trafficking.
would not exist without the U.S. is the number one.
Oh yeah, it's
can't
human
remember.
and child sex trafficking. It is, U.S. is the number one consumer.
Right.
So we wouldn't have this issue if we in America
Or it would
were not
largely have the issue. It would still
number
exist, but it would
one
largely
consumer.
exist.
So, again,
Which is shocking when you
I'll
think
say
about
it
that.
again. Literally, the United States is not only trafficking the most people, children. We are the number one supplier, but we also are the number one demander. So
They're
we
not
are
only
the number
the
one
owner, they're
place that
also a
says
client.
we want more, give us the younger, push the age, drop the
That's
age,
nuts.
6-year-olds, 4-year-olds. I mean, it is, we are demanding
Jesus.
that as a country. And so the demand and the supply is unfortunately coming from our own, literally our own backyards.
That's
And
crazy,
so-
dude.
Scary.
I
to
think
think
it's
that it's
terrifying,
like-
especially
As
if
a
you
father
have
of two
kids.
little girls.
Yeah, I mean, we both have 2 little girls
And
each.
I mean, obviously I don't have children, but like, it infuriates and scares me, but I think that's the part of the point that like we have to get that across because yeah, it is possible. Just like the story I told you about the kid that went on the helicopter.
The hawk. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Like, you have a kid that comes home, you know, and it's like, oh, mommy, I went on a helicopter today. And the mom's like, yeah, I'm busy, whatever, okay. And then the kid comes home and tells you again, oh, went on a helicopter today. And you're just like, okay, what are you talking about? Like, you're a crazy 5-year-old, whatever. But then enough times you listen to the kid and you're like, wait, sit down and tell me this story. And then you find out that, and this was a real thing that happened, I think, like 20 or 30 years ago, kids were being pulled from, I don't want to say a for sure the name, but from a well-known child care facility.
Like a daycare.
Yes. And being taken for the day in a helicopter to be whatever, filmed, raped, sold for the day, for the hour, and then brought back and being picked up by dinner time.
That's
And so
nuts.
here you are as
like,
a
what,
parent,
What
like-
happens if, as a
Let me-
parent, you're like, hey, where's
Okay, let me
my
ask
little
about-
Johnny?
Correct.
Let me ask a better question. We're 3 smart people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And we know a bunch of smart people. How do we do something? What is your thoughts on how do we do something to make an impact to try to put a dent in the universe and stop this?
I think the only thing I don't want to say I think the only thing. What I think it could be immediate is honestly content like this and putting out content like this on our Instagram a little bit more, or whatever channel we have, right? Donating and doing things like interviewing Nick, who did the documentary. You know, bringing Nick lives in Orlando. I can hit Nick up.
I guarantee we can get Russell here.
For sure. Bringing those kind of people in and talking, like making content about it, continuing the discussion with people, trying to
Raising
make more
awareness.
people aware and donating and having, links at the bottom of this to have other people that are feeling the same way we're feeling to donate,
Yeah, because, here's the way I feel about it. It is clearly real, right? What I think is silly about some of this stuff, not all of it, and there are definitely layers of truth and all that kind of stuff, is when you have a very real issue, a very real problem, and someone tries to hijack the spotlight or put it on something that's not real, that's damaging. And I'm not saying that it's
I think the problem is no one knows what's real or not right
the
now.
world we live in, right?
Yeah,
But that's okay, you just have to
that's what makes
question
this so
everything.
difficult.
But that it's just like there's
And then you have
there's
other-
there's a great clip with Denzel Washington out there, right? He talks about, and I think it was CNN or somebody was interviewing him about some other issue, and he basically made a comment. He's like, the problem in the world today is that you motherfuckers have no interest in being right. You have an interest in being first, right? And so we live in a world where it matters to go first without actually researching. And we, as the consumer of knowledge, don't get the opportunity to distinguish between what's real and what's not real. And so as a business owner, as somebody who's worked a long time for my reputation, as somebody else who's working on her reputation and somebody else who's worked on his reputation, I understand the damage that could do to a business
dude.
on unfounded rumors. That's why I defend what I defend. It's for another reason.
Yeah.
If it's real, fuck you, burn the fucking place to the ground, you deserve to go to jail, whatever. But if it's not real, consider for a moment if it isn't. And somebody destroys your life
I hate all the
on unfound rumors.
We have a lot of friends that are successful and they do the right thing, and they get blasted because their size of not even their size of business sometimes, their size of fame and they get destroyed by randos that like have no
It's not
business.
fair. The
It's
reality
so
is there
unfair.
are internet troll douchebag fuckheads out there that live to destroy somebody's life and business. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's just the real world we live in. My point is there's a real issue.
I think
Child trafficking, I mean, I've gotten behind a lot of issues in my life, and I can tell you I've donated not only time, but money, effort, energy. I mean, I mentioned it
Well,
earlier.
here's the thing.
There is an impact we can create.
Do you know what we should do? Just because we obviously have a company called Freedom Publishing, basically Freedom Group, like we should make it a point that a certain percentage, we can talk about it later, whatever, should be donated yearly from what we make on that company to OUR.
Yeah.
And that's how
great.
that's a real thing. You know what I mean? We're doing one real thing, and then we're creating content on it. We're not the ones, but we can begin the conversation. Like,
I mean, I
us
honestly-
making content like this and doing this also opens the door for our homies to be like,
Correct.
oh, they're good with it. I'm gonna start spitting.
Yes.
I'm going to
gonna
tell you,
do
she and
this.
I have had the conversation probably a dozen times. I mean, I'm down. All I give a shit about is mattering.
Right.
I want to know that I'm leaving the world the better than I've
Right.
started. And this is wrong at every level. There's
Oh,
not
it's
one
disgusting.
thing that's right about
Especially
it.
for parents, man. People that
And
are
if we
parents.
can do something about it just by this conversation and more, I'm down to do it as much as it takes, right? And
Right.
donating money and time, everything.
Okay,
But-
so I'm going to say something that's really going to be possibly controversial to both of you now that we're just sitting
Roddy.
here with two males.
Can you turn the air down?
So
Over
they
there.
say, which again, I'm not like pinning either one of you, but they say that.
Jesus.
Okay, calm down. You guys want to bring awareness to this, but you have to talk about it.
Okay, let's go.
So, part of the reason why with the U.S. and America is it's the same, but is the consumer and the supplier is the consumption of porn.
I knew you were going to do it.
It's a true fact. It's a 100% true
There-
fact.
Okay.
Let me talk, please.
Let's talk.
So, Pornhub just came out yesterday with a 15-year-old girl who has been in, I think it was 156 videos.
Shit.
156 videos. A 15-year-old who is missing was just facially recognized on Pornhub. And Pornhub has come out and said, yes, she was in our videos.
We had no idea.
Hold the phone. So therein lies the issue of the consumption. So it's less about where do we donate? Where do we talk about? You have to go to the source. Why is it the number one consumer? Where do you think these girls are going? They're not all going to live in a basement. They're going, or their families don't understand what's happening, and so they just think, okay, we're going to send Sarah to work at the restaurant in New York. Sarah ain't working at a restaurant in New York. Sarah is now on Pornhub at 15 being sold multiple times, making millions of dollars for someone. So the thing, again, it goes back to like, and I'm not saying porn is good, porn is bad. I honestly, whatever. I just think that you have to look at all of the root causes because yeah, donating, that's cool. But like until the demand stops, there won't be a stop to it because
Well,
the demand is going to keep being there.
Let's put it into two places.
We're
job.
rolling. We're back. I
Welcome
don't know how
back.
this is going to be edited, but we're talking about porn.
Well, we're talking about human trafficking,
Okay.
and then we're talking about how the U.S. is the number one consumer of human trafficking.
And that's because of porn.
Consumer and supplier. A part of it is because of porn. Yes. So, porn. My then question to both of you was, porn consumption, for some, leads to, whatever deviant behavior, which then goes down a rabbit hole. So therefore, and I said the thing about Pornhub with the 15-year-old. So, it kind of goes into this whole messy cycle of like, okay, porn is can be a direct response to human trafficking. Some people that are human trafficked are sold and used to be made more money off of, which is why it's such a lucrative business because you can sell one person, blah, 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 blah. So my question to you was then the stance on porn. And you said it could be like a gateway drug, depending on if that's your thing. Correct?
Yeah, it could.
I think that's just like anything.
Yeah, anything.
I mean, I think that porn in moderation and under healthy circumstances can definitely benefit a relationship, can benefit a marriage, can benefit for sure. But I think that just like anything else, can it lead to deviant behavior and people going down serious rabbit holes. I mean, whether same thing can be said about drugs, same thing can be said about alcohol, same thing can be said about work, quite frankly. People that don't know how to separate fact from fiction or escape, I mean, just complicates their entire life.
Right.
The reality of it is that, under certain circumstances, can porn, in my belief, can it be a healthy thing for a couple or even as an individual? Yeah, I'm not here to judge anybody at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, shit. There's a reason why porn is one of those are some of the most visited websites in the world.
They're great marketers.
Porn is one of the things that I love it, the simple fact that everybody does it, nobody wants to admit it or talk about it.
If I may, I dabble. I've engaged.
You've engaged probably today.
My favorite is if I had to qualify, I would say real estate, like a nice story of a home being sold, and also normally I would go into the MILF category, but at this point in my life, it's basically just people my age doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Learned something new today. Yeah.
Was
okay.
MILF when you were 18?
Was
When I was 18, I was like, well, that's crazy. Now it's like, oh, like someone my age, whatever. I can relate.
Yeah.
That's
I can
it.
relate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think anyone can sit here and say like, oh, I've never done that.
That
That
you've
would
never
be-
looked at porn?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
No,
not.
But I think kind of like what you said, in a healthy way, okay, yes, that's cool, but then where does the line get drawn to where the taboo starts to drop and drop and drop, and now MILFs aren't getting you off anymore?
I don't think it's that. I think it's deeper than that. I think it's a mindset, right? Like I am a extremely aggressive, overconsumptuous alpha dude. That's just, if I eat cookies, I will eat the whole thing. If I drink, it's to go all the way. But at the same time, I don't do it all the time. I'm like, yeah, when I do it, I do it. That's kind of it, right? That's my mindset. I'm like, do it, don't do it. There's no like middle.
It's very binary.
Yeah. For a lot of people, I'm not looking to like when we drink, it's to have a great time and great conversations, and it's amazing. It's fun. If you're watching porn, it's like, I gotta knock one out real quick, or doing it with the wife or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. If it's food, normally it's
efficient.
Like, yeah, it's just like, all right, I'm just gonna indulge in this, and then I'm just gonna not do it for a while, right? That's how I think. There's other people that are trying to fill a void. And I think that's the people that try to go like, well, what's more? Because I'm trying to be satisfied. It's more than just a dopamine hit. It's like I'm trying to release or forget something. Those are the people that are...
Okay.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah. And so I think that's just kind of in you.
And it manifests itself.
More so
Right.
than
Back
it
to
becomes.
it can manifest itself in drugs and
In
alcohol,
food
and
and
porn,
anything.
and business and
Yeah,
anything, right?
For sure.
Like if you have that personality, you
Yeah.
got to go all the way. You can't just
Right.
chill and enjoy, or like you said,
Right.
an efficient moment, right? Whatever it is. I do think the line is definitely drawn, and I know that these companies try to do this and regulate what they can, but I do think that it gets super weird.
Block that number.
And like the whole younger girl, I mean, that to me is just fucking bizarre, right?
Disgusting.
Right? And the old, right? Not to offend.
That's just weird.
That's just weird, right?
Sorry.
I don't fucking. I'm not here to.
When I meant MILF, I didn't mean
But
like
what happens when
grandmother.
you're old and then it's people your age porn?
I'll tell you then.
Okay, because you might think old people are
Yeah.
not your thing,
When
but
I'm
then you'll be
60
old one
and
day and
the
you're like,
chick's
hey, these
We'll
are
run
people
this
my
back
age.
when I'm 73.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what I really like?
She's super hot.
There's
This
a
is the
song
hottest
just-
71-year-old I've ever
exactly.
seen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Until I get there, it's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really weird.
Yep.
Other people like cartoon anime stuff.
Oh,
that's
cute.
just
That's like
that's
major
weird.
number one consumer.
What?
Like, people
Really?
love anime.
That's crazy.
People lose their shit
You
for
love?
anime.
Is that what you just said?
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought you
I'm
said,
saying,
I
no,
love
no,
anime.
No,
I was like,
people. I am intrigued by people. I'm like, what is it? But to your point, though, that might be the
It's a
same
s-
type of thing,
it's
where
a
it's like
thing.
I'm trying to fill a void. I like this.
Yeah.
I miss this. There's a child inside of me that needs this. I like cartoons. I like weird.
Like the super aggressive stuff, like that is highly. What am I trying?
BDSM.
Yeah. Like,
Oof, I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out. No, I'm a lover.
Yeah.
You know, I like to
Okay.
keep it easy.
So,
I love that she was like, BDSM? Is that the kind of porn you watch?
No,
You
I'm
know a
just
lot of
saying-
categories.
Yeah, I
You know?
want to be efficient in our conversation here. Had to do my research. If I'm going to shit talk people and talk about other things,
What's your kind of porn?
Very quick and efficient. So, and the opposite of you. Like, I don't need a story. I'm like,
You just
oh
need
my
you just need a
God.
minute out.
Yeah.
I want to know where they
Don't
met.
try to tell.
Yeah,
No.
I want to know where
Backstory.
they met. What did they have for dinner?
No.
Yeah.
You know,
Did they-
is this
Was
new,
it a good date?
Is this new love?
No.
Or are
I
you
don't care.
rekindling a love? What kind of house is being
The
sold?
chances are they hate
What
you
is the
hate each other.
backsplash? Right.
Yeah,
Like,
they hate each other. They're
what's
getting
the,
paid
what's
a
the
very
property value?
What's the price?
I don't care. It's a very transactional thing. Like,
What
I'm
are the
getting
comps?
paid, you're getting paid. Let's fake this. We're both probably faking this. I hate you. Maybe I hate you too. Cool. Like you said, you're not even in the right hole. Okay. I'm coming. It's great. Camera cut. Let's go have lunch.
Whoa.
That's probably what's really happening, though. So in my mind, I'm just like, that's what's happening. Like, I watch it, and I'm just like, this is so fake. So just like, hurry up and get your fakeness over.
That's the porn you
No,
like?
no. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I can't help but think that when I'm watching it because I don't think, oh, do you love her? Oh, where did you guys meet? I'm like,
I know they don't love each other.
right. So how can you even go into that thought when you're watching it? I'm like, really?
Because it's pretend.
Exactly.
Because
When
it's
I
not
watch
real.
a movie, I don't think that the people that I'm watching the movie
I'm like,
are
oh,
the
this
real
movie's
people.
fake. Let's end it.
Doesn't mean I'm not
No,
invested in the movie.
But you're following a kid. Well, first of all, those are actors, and they're portraying very.
So are these.
No,
These are
No,
literal
no, no,
actors.
no, if they were actors,
They are
they'd be called
acting.
actors. They're porn stars. There's a very different thing. They're not meant to.
I don't
read
think it's that
lines.
different.
They're not meant to like. Well, maybe in your
Influencers are actors also.
everyone's an
They're
actor.
daft.
My point. My point.
Everybody's acting.
Okay.
They just happen to be acting
Yeah.
while they're having sex.
Yeah.
Correct, which makes it fake. Which means I don't need a story about your fucking backsplash or like how long
Well, I
you've
don't know
been
what
or
that-
like if I ordered the wrong pizza. Oh, I ordered the wrong pizza. Like, no, I didn't order the wrong pizza. Like, no. It's,
Extra sausage.
exactly. See? Like, I didn't want that. Yes, you did. No, it's like,
It's just fun. It's a fun time.
I guess.
Extra sauce.
Listen, we could talk about this for 6 more hours, but I know you got to get going. What's
gotta go.
end? I want to end on something positive because we've talked about a lot of crazy stuff. What is something on TV right now or on the internet, not a conspiracy, that you are loving or have watched that you liked?
Positive.
Positive.
I'll start. Zac Efron down
I was
the
just
road.
about to use.
Well,
This is
I'm
my
glad
man.
you both went because I have something better than that.
No way.
That is a great show. Very important things that are being said in there. You guys are both gonna think I'm ridiculous for saying this, but my favorite show to watch, which makes me happy, is House Hunters International. And every
oh my
time
God,
I
so
watch
does Laura.
it, every time I watch it, I'm
Real
on a mini
estate porn.
vacation.
I love $1 Million Listing as well.
Too much drama. I don't care about their personal life.
I love the houses.
Yeah, it's
this is-
unrealistic. It's too much. I want to see what it looks like in Spain. What do I get for $500,000? What do I get for $3,000 a month? I want to know these things. So it takes you all across the world. You're like,
I want to
oh.
know what a house in Beverly Hills that's $60 million. Who's buying this crib? What's the marketing campaign?
Yeah, that's interesting. But like, I'm not going to live in Beverly Hills. I can't stand that place.
Fair.
Maybe I want to move to Costa Rica one
You
day.
take
and
things too serious.
Yeah.
I'm not going to move to Beverly
Very
Hills
little.
either, but I just like to see the campaign. They're like, we're going to
if
spend
I'm
this
gonna
much.
watch something, I want to like learn. Like, I'm not gonna be like, I don't want to watch nonsense.
Fair.
Therefore, I don't want to watch your fake porn. I want to just be like, let's get it going and let's get on with our day.
Let's-
Not like,
It's efficient.
yeah,
Yeah,
I want to.
you're very
I'm very
efficient.
busy. I need to go.
You're
clearly.
very efficient. Apparently, you and I have a shit ton of time to waste.
You guys are sitting here drinking alcohol, and I'm like, let's solve the problems, stop human trafficking, don't do the things, let's go.
Let's end racism,
Yeah.
solve human trafficking. One podcast.
One
Yeah.
podcast, Black Lives
Let's
Do
throw
Matter.
cancer on top while
Yeah.
we're at it.
Well,
F. Bill Gates.
thank you for saying that.
Well, I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
I don't know the guy.
I don't know the guy. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
No one knows anyone.
I know what I've read.
We only know what you want us to know about you, right?
I know that this is the end of this podcast because of efficiency and time. So thank you, Ashley, for coming. We'll
Yes.
have you on again because
I
there's so
hope
much more to
so.
talk about. If you guys
hope
want to
so.
talk to Ashley, talk about conspiracy or just efficient porn, where can they find you?
Okay.
Please
We are
put
not-
in the subject line.
Possibly,
efficient
you know
porn.
what? I totally take that back because I know a lot of people on Instagram are going to be like, oh, I've got something to send her.
We don't have anything to talk about. Yes.
Don't do it. Don't do it, guys.
I
Get
am
a
more
life.
than happy to talk to you about conspiracy theories or health and fitness. Please do not send me your porn suggestions or recommendations. I get enough of that unsolicited, so I don't need to solicit for it.
Yeah.
But yes, you can find me at Ashley Randall Fit on Instagram. Yeah, that's it.
All right. I'm at Los Hustle. He's at Kent Clothier. Thank you, guys. We will see you on the next one.
Peace.
Bye.